Filming.
Filming. Okay. So this infrared thermometer does not measure plasma heat. It measures radiant heat, infrared heat. So by trying to measure the heat in a spark gap, what it's trying to do is to measure the plasma form, or the plasma plasma discharge of the spark gap, but it actually won't. So what I need to do is make it into a heater by increasing the gap distance. The filaments, the tungsten actually goes red. This is a thoriated tungsten spark gap. Thoriated tungsten welding rods and a gap in between, and it's on a piece of wood with just some wiring connectors holding them in, so that I can adjust the gap as it's live. One-handed, I can come in and just move that open or close it up. So what we'll do, it's now being powered from that oil bath transformer again, straight through from the circuit, from the switching circuit. Once the gap is live, you'll be able to see on the switching circuit the globes, the output of the energy, and yeah, we'll go from there. So basically what I'm trying to demonstrate is that the energy at the spark gap is more than what is being transmitted through from the generator. It's being developed from the oscillations of the magnetism within the transformer that the generator is hooked to. That is what Tesla was talking about when he said resistance is immaterial. Resistance is immaterial, Tesla said in his circuitry, because the increasing resistance has no effect on the voltage, and as can be seen, the voltage is the thing that does the work. The potential is shifted through the capacitance of the loads. So the capacitance of the transformer dictates the amount of heat in the spark gap. If I was to use a bigger transformer and a bigger generator, we'd be able to get more heat out of the spark gap with less current. The current flow through the globes was obviously very small, similar to the first reading of 0.06, or maybe at a pinch 0.1 amp through the two globes. The fact that the voltage has been stepped up by running the transformer backwards, 10-to-1 transformer, 130 volts going in times 10 is 1300 volts coming out, so 1300 volts to the spark gap, but that's in one that's time equals 1. What we've been doing is oscillating it at much faster rates, much faster, and so the potential is driven like a flywheel and does exponentially more work from that frequency. If we were to use frequency and increase the if we were to use oscillating signals and increase the frequency on the conventional power supplies, what happens when we increase the frequency is simply we get no more work, but what happens if the spikes here on the amperage side drive backwards into the circuit and blow things apart. It doesn't happen when you use energy of the right signature for equal and vitreous and resonance energy together. It doesn't happen. Okay, so now we're running into the spark gap. What we should do, is come in close to this, because we haven't moved this yet, and we can see. Are you watching the screen?
Yeah.
Just to make sure that we can see that properly. We can see that the spark gap has actually been, well, the tungsten has actually been consumed. I'll just turn that a little bit, so you can see that that's formed a point over there where the spark was travelling to. So it's made its own little platform and used up some of the tungsten. I suppose we'll just get it going while the compressor's going. Coming down into the audio frequency. Below that, it should be expanding, it's not. So the capacitors are actually preventing the passage. They're actually preventing the passage of turning on the other direction. So now it's starting to burn. I look at the lights on the output. Now it's starting to burn on the lights on the output and beginning to shine. It's shifted the frequency upward. Alright, so yeah, the use of these 400 volt or 500 volt microcapacitors, what are they? 500 volts, 0.1 microfarad and 15 amps or something, I think it says. The use of those has inverted the energy signature, where to initiate the spark I have to come up the frequency range instead of coming from a high frequency down to a lower frequency into the audio and then find the plasma. That's reverted or reversed the signature with having those condensers in there.